All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is Levon Howard, the CEO founder of Path to Greatness, the host of the Woman's Road to Experience show, also the founder of Visionary Office Cafe. Hope everyone's doing well today. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. I was hoping we get more people on here. Like I said, thank you for joining us, able to pivot, today. I know today has been crazy. My whole month's been crazy. My month's been crazy, literally and figuratively. And I just want y'all to thank me for being flexible. And like I said in the email this morning, it's been a crazy day so far, but God is going to prevail. God's going to move, and God's going to bless this today. So hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for pivoting this sort of virtual. My speaking is this is that the next one, April 22nd, will be in person. I did talk with the venue person about what happened situation. We are working on it. We came to common ground. So next time, April 22nd, that is finalized, that is done. But we're here today, share your journey, your stories. So I'll give you a little background about Auithor Cafe. I think all you know, but Erica's new on here. I want to share about Auithor Cafe and what it's about and what we do at Auithor Cafe. All right, Auithor Cafe was so basically not a lot of people don't know that I am an author myself. I wrote my first book about 11 years ago, called Release, poetry book of affirmations and quotes, things that I wrote in college. And a couple of my friends at the time encouraged me to write a book, put it in a book altogether in a book. And I was like, okay. And then I didn't know what the process was. So then later on, fast forward, we actually had the book here. Hold on, I'll show y'all. This is the book. This is the background. Hold on, let me. This is a book called Release. It's my first book. I wrote basically about my journey as for information about poetry, because I was doing poetry back in college at West Chester University. And I remember doing one of the first of the month, the Black Student Union had called Open Mic Night. Expressions. I'll be usually the first one to come and say a poem or inspiring word. And all these poems I wrote in that book were on my computer for years, being dormant, not doing anything with it. So what we did, like I said, my friends posted a book called Release, and there was no Auithor Cafe. There was no platform like this where I could showcase my book and talk about my book, things like that. So, and then a a year later, I wrote this book called something here called Path to Greatness. To the tools we use to be grateful, success for our youth. Let me burn my background out. Hold on, let me see. I can. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me get rid of this background because y'all can't really see the book. Come on. There we go. This is the book. Had the Greatness, my book. My second book that I wrote in 2013. So, like I said, there was no platform, no something like this to me. I could sell my books, showcase my books, and tell you my story. But 3 years later, the guy told me to come with his idea because I wanted to do book signing at the time. I went to venues, black venues at the time. There weren't many. I had opportunities to sell my book. Then God gave me the idea to do something called Auithor Cafe, where authors come together and speak about their book and share their book amongst fellow authors and guests. So, and at the same time, I was like, maybe do something like this because it get people together, connect, and also share their story, because I think your story should be embraced and celebrated. Then around July 2023, July 2016, time going by fast. I'm so sorry. We did our first Auithor Cafe at my old church home on 8th and York. So prior to that, my church, old church, moved to another building, and my pastors had that building at the same time. So he let me use the space to do Office Cafe. I did my first Office Cafe there. We had 3 authors that came to North Philly on Friday night at 7 o'clock. We did it. We got done at 9, and a lot of people got their books sold, and a lot of people told me it was inspiring that we brought black people together and on something positive and something where we can celebrate each other's work and stories. And from there, I kept going. I did one pretty much twice a month. I kept going, doing once a month. Then fast forward, we about to celebrate 7 years in July 2023 with our 40th Office Cafe. So, it's been we have had over 200 authors participate in this event, virtually and in person, from Delaware, Philly, Atlanta, California, Florida, New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Boston. We had a lot of people participate in this platform, and a lot of new connections and friendships have been formed because of this platform called Office Cafe. So also one thing about me, I've always done Office Cafe and where it was in person at a Black-owned business venue. So I did one at a fitness studio. I did one at Poetry Cafe first year. Then we moved to the Record Cafe. That's my name, Gerard, who was sold. Then we did at Washington Events, and we did at somewhere else. I totally forgot. But every in-person cafe has been at a venue owned by a Black person. So I'm very supportive of the community. I'm very supportive of Black people on businesses getting their shine, getting their spotlight, get highlight for something positive they're doing in the community, and giving back to the community as well, a space where people can showcase their talents and gifts amongst other people. So we at the 38th Office Cafe, our first one in 2023. Let imagine that we'll be here, but we got to take the wins as a learning experience. And so next time we won't have this again. So I'm speaking existing that we will be in person on April 22nd. And then our 40th Office Cafe is going to be in July. We're not sure the day is going to be. It's going to be July 8th or 15th. But also in May, we might do a special virtual Office Cafe for those who are out of state, that are in Philadelphia, that I connected with over the past couple of years. That have great work out there that needs to be celebrated and appreciated. So be on the lookout for that. So we might, because it might be 40 part 1 and 2, because I'm trying to showcase authors who are desperate in a gift and that need to share amongst one another. So that's what Office Cafe is about, and promote literacy and networking and positive amongst each other. We will celebrate each other, celebrate our wins, and hopefully, Lord willing, our speaking is now that we get our own building in 2 or 3 years, so we can do events from our own venue, and so we can move from there and transition from there. So, like I said, God has been with me through this whole entire journey. It's not in vain. I don't do things without God's alignment in it. So it's so important that we continue to celebrate your work, celebrate your life, celebrate your journey amongst friends and family that will listen to you, that will hear your story, that will support you. It's so important that we support one another and feed off one another's energy. I say this, Coach Adrian has been a part of it. Desha has been a part of it before, where people get together, Office Cafe, that people that don't really know each other like that, let's say met before, some atmosphere happens, a shift happens, like a spirit happens, like someone takes over, and it becomes powerful, it becomes magical, and people leave transformed. They leave better when they came in. People leave with new connections, new friend, new business partners, So it's so important that we continue to do this. I couldn't say no, but like I said, life happens, things happen, like we can't be stuck in that being bitter and being mad. We just gotta move forward, so and press on. And just move forward and do what God's calls to do. But like I said, August, April 26th is gonna be powerful. Like today is gonna be powerful. We don't have many offers as we usually have, but we already got the people that were supposed to be premiering today in person. Over half of them committed to the one in April. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great event. We had a chef coming, that own food business coming to support as well. So we're gonna make sure we make this work. This year's gonna be awesome, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the growth Artist Cafe is going to take. We are thinking about starting they'll create a book program for young people, for youth, to help them write a book and tell their story. Even starting off, maybe tell your story. That's it. We really got to think about writing a book, but learn how to come to office on their own story. So, something like public speaking and something like that. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna do what God called me to do and not do it just because it's cool, but do it because of alignment of what we are talking about when we're trying to build here Artist Cafe. So like I said, thank you for joining us. That was my new intro about Artist Cafe. For those who are new to Artist Cafe, those who were on before, but need more detail about what we do and how we do it. So the Artist Cafe is pretty much an event where people authors come out and share about their book in their own way, in their own special way. And they come out and doing their own way. It's no script. It's no way. I'm not asking you to be off script. I'm asking you to be your authentic self. That's all I'm asking you to be on your authentic self and tell your story about Artist Cafe, what's your book mean to you, and why you want the book, and what the reader would gain from the book. That's what it's about. And then you get opportunity to network and collab and form relationships, connect, things like that. So I usually do an intro, read the bio, then bring the person on, to tell them to share about their book. It was a person day. We had 5 minutes, but you can go longer than 5 minutes if you need to, but don't go expedient long. We're gonna usually have someone share. They will take questions or comments from the audience that's here, and then if not, we'll go from there. We will post any links you have, any pictures you want to share on across the screen. Let me know. We can display that. So let's be supporters of one another and just make sure that we continue to uplift each other in a positive way and make sure all of us win. It's not a competition. It's about building something powerful together that is Artist Cafe, that we can promote reading to our Black and brown children, that reading is essential and reading is necessary for growth and elevation in your life. So, yeah, that being said, I'm going to have our first author go. I'm going to read her bio. I'm basically going off the order that I sent out this week. So it's not going to deviate from the order. I'm going to basically go off the order that we had and we worked in person. Like I said, I apologize for me not being in person today. I wish we were, but April is about to be better, but be better weather, maybe more warmer, so we can be spring. So that'll be a great opportunity for us to come together, connect more in person. So what we got today, we're gonna make it the best of it. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna help each other. We're gonna lift one another, support one another, and just make sure that we are this together. Like I said, thank you for those who have been flexible. I really appreciate you. I wish I knew sooner, so we could have pivoted this better, but I wish I knew better, but again, it's lesson learned, So, but next time what happened, I'll make sure that we communicate more effectively, and also I'll make sure that I post more about the events, like that, because I've been through a whole lot this past month, personally, professionally, and it kind of affected my preparation for the event and promoting it the way that I want to be promoted. So forgive me for that part. So hopefully, Lord willing, that this won't happen again. So for the 1 April, we're going to promote, like video clips, 80/81 share videos, of your book, clips in your book, excerpts from the book, why that may be, that it could gauge our audience to come on April 22nd. So, like I said, it could be an episode where you read a book from the book, your book, or, you know, as maybe talk to someone that you got bought a book and ask them what he or she got from the book. You know, maybe episode of that. You know, don't really, it could be 30 seconds. You know, so we can inspire and cultivate that excitement for April 22nd, because it's going to be a big thing. Make it up for the past 2 couple cafes, because last year was kind of rough. But you know, but we're here by God's grace. So we're going to promote this. We're going to make it fun. We're going to make it exciting. We're going to make people come out and support you. So we're going to meet new people, and leave better than they came in. So, all right. So our first person, based on the order that was presented in the Artist Cafe, is someone that I have known for the past 6 years ago. She's one of the first people that came to my job 6 years ago, and for a work-weight program. And she did an awesome job. You know, she was the first one that came out, and I just started at that job at that time, and she came through, and she did an excellent job. And the kids were engaged, they were enlightened, and the kids got some valuable from that, because the program they had in the summertime was pretty much not really challenging or engaging. So we had like a full open playbook of what we can do. And I told my boss about this woman, and she came through. And she did an excellent job. She was engaging. She got over questions and got the students were engaged, and the students got more than what they were expecting. And they left something different than they normally came in. So she was one of the first people that came to the and my boss at the time really trusted in me to do this. And I'm about bringing great people to the community that are doing it for the community, that are problem solvers, and they are leaders and champions and leaders and game changers to help our community, whether it's youth, the adults, the elderly, anyone that wants to be empowered to become greater. So the first author is going to be Miss Erica Jorden. I'm going to read her bio, and then I'm going to introduce her to y'all, and then she can take the floor and go from there. EJ is author name, is a human resources leader with 16 years of experience. EJ holds a bachelor's degree in business management, human resources management, and master's degree in adult education. A lifelong Philadelphian, EJ resides with her daughter in her spare time, does shop, laugh, cook, maintain home decor, obsession, and travel while managing her daughter's budding DJ career. As EJ continues working on additional writing projects and business ventures of her own, the simple things of life are what bring her joy. So let's welcome our first author of Office 2023, Miss Erica Jorden, or EJ.
Thank you so much, Levon. You know what's so funny? You literally just jogged my memory. I didn't realize you was talking about me when you did the intro. Because my daughter, she'll be 9. And yes, she was like 1 or 2 when I came and talked to the kids. Yes.
At K-Kappa in the summertime.
Yes.
First one that came. First one that came.
Yes. Oh my God. I had a ball too. I really enjoyed myself.
You definitely did that day.
I did. And I'm gonna be honest, I was nervous. You know, this generation don't play. So
yeah, this is totally different now. 7 years later, totally different now from 6 years ago. You know, 7 years ago, where we were at 7 years ago. So
yeah, that's great. Well, where do you want me to start? I'm new to the cafe. So I'm actually excited.
Just talk about yourself, what you do, how the book came together, why you write the book.
All right, so kind of like Levon was saying in the intro, at the time when I was connected with him, I was still working in human resources, but I was a consultant, and at the time I had my own resume and career coaching business. Now, fast forward some years later, now I'm the director of human resources for University City District. However, I've had a passion for writing since I was 14. The first time I cracked open Fly Girl by Omar Tyree, I was hooked. So I've literally been writing since 2012. So I literally have one fiction book completed, another one. I have 5 more chapters to do. But this book came along October 2020. So one thing's for sure, two things for certain, wisdom comes after the storm. That's the title of my book. And it is literally excerpts from my personal journals of grief, loss, lessons learned and applied. From 2019, literally to 2 weeks ago, I've had a person die in my family every year. I lost my mother, my father, my brother, my grandmother, my aunt, another aunt, unfortunately just committed suicide 2 weeks ago. Um, and in the midst of all of that, there's a divorce that ensued, and then you got to deal with the fallout of the breakup of the family, and then there were a couple layoffs in there. So the original title was "Life Happens After." There is life after everything, because as you get older, you realize there's always something. And it's like, well, how do you get through that something? Like, yes, you have therapy. Some people have support systems, some don't. And for me, unfortunately, I kind of fall in that category in my family and friend group where everyone kind of comes to me. But when I go to them, it's like they like, I don't know what to say because we come to you type of thing. It's kind of that check on your strong friends. So the book actually, so where I share literal stories from various different chapters and experiences of my life, at the end of each chapter, I have journal exercises for the reader to either start or continue their healing journey. So it's a lot of examples. It's definitely I include lessons that I've learned. I mean, even when it just goes back to forgiveness of my parents. As you get older, you become a parent, or you get married, or you go through the adulting, you kind of can sit back and realize maybe how much you may have judged your parents. I know I did. Um, how I am now is not what I grew up in. I grew up in a very tumultuous home where police were called, alcoholism, drug abuse, you name it. However, as I've gotten older and, grappling with losing my parents and family members, you sit back and you realize, to be honest, our parents did the best with what they had. They may not have everything I have. So, to know better is to do better. So some of those things that I grew up with, I work very hard to make sure I kind of do the opposite with my daughter. So chapter 1 of my book in particular is called A Moment in the Mind of Me. And it's literally journals from when I was at my mother's deathbed at home. And I wrote out everything. That was a hard chapter to go through. I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't get through it without crying. And I've had to go through it about 15 times to make sure it was edited, but it definitely goes through the struggle of me and my mother's relationship and how I had to come to like true, honest forgiveness. But a lot of understanding. My mom was a tough cookie and she didn't talk a lot. So I always felt she was mean. I always felt she didn't like me. She didn't raise me. So that was an issue too. Me not living with my biological mother and living with my father and stepmother, that caused the divide. And when she was dying in HUP, that's when she came out with a lot of truth. I got an apology that I never thought I would get. And I was so grateful. I was grateful to be there, when she took her last breath. And I grew up, I said I was an adult married, but having that experience being there with my mom and kind of having those flashbacks to my childhood, I totally grew up. So the one thing I can say that I've been journaling off and on for years, that's how I pray. Sometimes I can't verbalize what I need to say deep down. So I always write it. But the one thing I can say that journaling has really done for me is it forces me to look at me. So it's one of those things where if you do not deal with your brokenness, it will deal with you. If you do not do the work and get the help, because I did that, I did get the therapy, and if you do not, heal from those childhood traumas, they will haunt you. So and those things tend to play out, and they play out in relationships. And so I go into talking about love attachment styles, trauma bonding, gaslighting, like some of the craziest things that I didn't even realize I was experiencing, because we learn how to put on a good face. But that's why I never envy couples. When I see couples on Instagram, I don't believe in couple goals, because you don't know what kind of hell they're going through behind closed doors. And nobody even knew what I was going through in my marriage, struggling with my parents, because I knew how to put on a good face, because I can go to work and do work all day, and then but you come home and you struggle. So the other important thing I learned about journaling, which is what I really want people to get out of the book, is, if you can't be honest with yourself about yourself, how do you expect to grow, learn, gain peace, healing, and understanding in some of life's most tumultuous moments? So I just want to give, in ending this, I want to give Levon a special shout out, because he was very transparent earlier in his live. And everything that you talked about, Levon, is literally in my book, because it's one of those things where, especially when you're in that season where you're about to blow up, all of those things that you work towards, that's when all hell breaks loose. When I was writing this book, caught COVID. When I was writing this book, went through a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't speak about because it's going to go into the follow-up books. I can't give up too much. But it's just, your faith is your best friend. Isolation is your best friend too, because that's when you really kind of, once you isolate yourself, that's where you're the most creative. But it's learning how to be kind to yourself, because there's things that happen. We all have it. I really believe we all have a Job season. Levon, this is your Job season. Okay. I'm not saying I'm fully out of mine, but I think I got a toe out, and it's really just, sometimes I would just write in the journal, like, most high, thank you, but I don't understand. I need you to help me figure this out, in those moments, because sometimes you can't have those conversations with your friends or your spouses or your family members. Sometimes you really just need to have that conversation with yourself and the Most High, and be ready to look at that mirror. So I really want folks to just kind of, just see some tidbits into my life, and just see, hey, you're not alone. And that's what really inspired me to write the book, because I was going through so much madness. I literally was like, I cannot be the only person dealing with childhood traumas and shadowboxing them as an adult. I cannot be the only person surviving a marriage, confused, not knowing why I'm confused. But then I realized, gaslighting, narcissistic traits, and things of that nature. And it was like, I have to release this, get it off of me, so that way I can bless others. Maybe if someone reads my book and kind of see the things that I went through and the strategies, maybe they'll miss that. They'll miss that pitfall, but that's what really inspired me to do it. I'm glad I did it. I actually did a 90-day book challenge with Joy Morgan Motivates. So that's what really pushed me to it, because I didn't have the resources. I know I can write a book, but I didn't know, how to do it without trying to pitch to a publishing company. But I will say this, divine timing is truly everything. It took 22 years, but I'm old enough, I'm mature enough, and I'm more comfortable with myself to be transparent and not embarrassed about my story. So thank you so much.
Erica, thank you so much being transparent, sharing your story. I forgot, I do remember you was married. We was married, and you went through all these phases, and you say you wrote the book in 2020. So what what was the gap? I don't know if I shared this, I might missed it. What was the reason why it took 2 years, almost 3 years to write the book and get it out there? Because you said it was done in 2020. So what?
Yeah, majority of it was done in 2020. To be flat out chasing my husband, still trying to figure out why he don't want to sleep in the same room with me, why he don't want to spend time with me. That's why. If I'm gonna be transparent, and I'm gonna tell you something, and I kind of mentioned that in my book. Oh, professionally, I was all that. You
But
go on my LinkedIn and see that. But I was so busy trying to fix a marriage, one person, and then I was grieving. So remember, my mother died January 2019.
right.
And then my father died February 2020. And then, I lost my brother, best friend and stuff. But to be honest, like I'm a mom and a stepmom, and I'm lonely, neglected, lost all types of self-esteem, couldn't even look in the mirror. The person I see today, she didn't exist then. I probably was 12 pounds heavier, but that's why. And then too, just not having that support, so if I got to a point where I was doing everything, he worked 2 full-time jobs. Oddly enough, that money didn't really make it into the house. So we don't know where that money went, but I can only imagine, and I can only imagine, where the time of days off was spent, because they weren't spent with me. So I will say this: energy and who you are connected to is everything. And in those 14 years that I was with my ex-husband, married for 10, together a total of 14, I may have progressed in some more superficial ways, but I definitely was held back in other ways. If I would have kept my first mind to go through with the divorce the first time when my daughter was 1, which was shortly after you met me, I more than likely would have progressed further.
Wow. Like, yeah, that's a lot to deal with at the time. Plus, you had a young daughter going through that with you. She might have going on. Like, that's powerful. That I thank you for sharing that, because, like I said, you need someone to be someone that's going to support your dreams and make your dreams reality, and be your biggest cheerleader and be your biggest starts writing books, and also, starting business or starting a career. Like, you pick yourself back up, and then you went through a lot. You went through a death after death after death after death, but they ain't stopping you. So you kept going, kept pushing, you kept following God's path, because God never left you. He was with you the whole time. He was with you the whole time. Well, as you were going through this, like, we gotta understand that wherever you go through, God's with you. You're not doing this by yourself. You're not doing it by yourself. God sees what's going on. He just trying to test your faith and see where you at. He's trying to see how strong you are in God. Are you gonna give up, or you gonna start going to church? You start giving it to, you start talking to the pastor. You'll keep going and see and how you gonna ride this out, because, like you said, like the devil was busy than ever. Like, it's so much going on. I can't even family anymore. Like, I can't, like, it boggles my mind, and it's like, but we got hold on. We got hold on. God's not changing hand. Yeah, hold on by faith. We got
absolutely. And then some of that also which I talk about in the book, is self-worth.
Self-worth.
Really understanding that you are enough by yourself.
Right. That's right.
And that's so I had my faith, and the tipping point as to what, I mean, there was a lot of things that led to the divorce, but the tipping point was when my mother died. My mother, she donated her body to science. So before she passed, literally hours before she passed, my mother gave me marching orders on what to do. So down to the menu, the food people ate, that's what she wanted. She requested for her memorial to be at my house. That was a way to bring the family back together, because we was like a little separated. And he did not come. He went to work. He did not give me money. He did not help me clean the house, prepare nothing. And it was just one of those things that I knew I couldn't shake. And I share in the book, my therapist told me, when I told it to her, she said, Erica, I need you to understand, death is not of an inconvenience. At the end of the day, that was your husband. He should have been there. And when I did confront him on it, and this was months later, because I was good for doing that. I'll hold something in because I'm just trying to figure it out. And when I mentioned it to him, he was like, well, that's not my fault. I couldn't find anybody to work for me. That's a lie. That's a lie, because that was your mother-in-law. I work in HR, buddy.
Yeah,
You get
PTO.
bereavement time. You got bereavement time.
Yep.
And most importantly, he worked less than 15 minutes from the house. So even on your lunch break, if that were true, you could have came back home, checked in.
Right.
And I never forget that day standing at my front door. I had so many people coming up to me, Erica, where's your husband? We just want to stick around and meet him. And I swear I almost kicked out everybody. But then I had to check myself, because that wasn't nobody else's fault or problem but mine. I knew he didn't care. I knew he wasn't going to be there for me, and it was just like, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. If you can't be there when my mama died, but I was there for you when your sister passed, and she made it her business where she couldn't stand me and she started all types of stuff, but I was still there because I knew that was my duty as a wife. I said, then maybe I really need to walk away from this, because if I can't rely on you financially, physically, emotionally, it's like we just roommates at this point, and somebody's getting used. And that was a hard pill to swallow, but I had to swallow that pill. You know why? Because I'm the one who chose wrong. And when I look back at it, there were some red flags that I overlooked, because being a love attachment style of anxious, preoccupied, and you are with someone who's either dismissive avoidant or fearful avoidant, you think you can fix everything. It's like, well, if I just love him enough and I just, oh, well, he was a foster kid and this, that, and the third. Man, listen, go on somebody's couch. Because the biggest lesson I learned in that I do share in the book as well, is it's not my responsibility to fix what I didn't break in the first place. So if we all to a certain degree have some form of brokenness from childhood, even if we did grow up in a 2-parent household that may be healthy, you may have experienced some things socially, with friend groups or schools or bullying or something like that. Nobody had a perfect childhood. But when those things start to creep up in your adulthood and you notice it, it's time to get some help. It's time to get some therapy, some resources, a life coach. I mean, heck, that's how I met you, Levon, because I had a life coach, So it's like, when you start to know those things, it's not for your partner to fix. Yeah, you may want them to support, but it's not for them to fix. And I put myself in this fix it mode. And at the end of the day, I got the short end of the stick. I'm the one who paid for the whole divorce. So the screen did not freeze. That was just a pause. But wow. I'm just saying, like, those are still lessons, though, and there's plenty of lessons in there. It's not just that. Actually, the marriage is kind of like a tidbit in chapter 6. But at the end of the day, believe it or not, because I'm so at peace with myself and I can take accountability and acknowledge the part that I played, I still wish him all the best. Literally, that's my daughter's dad. Because if he's doing okay, she's gonna be okay.
Right.
Anything else I could care less about.
Wow. Woo. I'm trying. Wow. So I just came in April 22nd. Ooh, man. That you gave some that I just want to say thank you for not letting that get to you, and what your purpose, God's purpose was for you, for your life, and now you're doing well. Cause I remember at the time I remember when I first met you, you was working at Comcast. I remember that. I don't know you were at Comcast, and but now look where you're in now. You're an author. You're doing it, and I'm very, very proud of you, and I thank you for just not letting those adventures you endured get the best of you. You pick yourself back up and kept it moving, and now God's blessed you in more immensely.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So for those, does anyone have any questions or any comments for Erica? For those who want to share something or got from it? Oh, go ahead, Desha, go ahead.
Hi, I didn't actually catch the name of your book, so I wanted to know the name of your book and also where can I get your book just so I can support.
Absolutely. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. Wisdom comes after the storm. You can, as I'm on Amazon, but you can actually go directly to my landing page and you hit shop now and it'll take you right to my Amazon account. So
Okay.
you'll go to www.
Hey, how about, can you type it in the
I'll
chat?
type it
Because if
in.
I
I
have
sure
that
will.
question, somebody else has it.
I sure do. I'm gonna do it right now. And I'll put in all my Instagram and social media
Yes.
stuff too.
Okay. And thank you. As I listened to you about all the different trials and tribulations you've been through, I'm sure there's something in your book that can help somebody.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Everybody goes through something, and
We
so
do.
and I'm also an advocate for journaling. I do not journal like I used to, but I always give journals out to everyone at Christmas time because I believe in journaling, and so I believe that is cathartic, and it helps you to get out some feelings and emotions that you may not be able to verbalize. So thank you for your transparency. Thank you for everything that you shared. And I look forward to supporting you and getting your book, and then we can talk some more.
Yeah, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna put in all my social medias. I'm gonna put in my Instagram and my Facebook. Everything on all platforms is EJ the author.
We never support that because, like I said, we support you. We never support that because your story was very powerful, and I got a lot from that. And I got to know you more than what you were a couple years ago. So God's blessing you. God's blessing you. And,
thank you so much. So it's like now I'm just balancing, my new leadership role, being an author and a momager. So that little baby that was on
I know.
laptop screen, she's a kid DJ now. She's
we might have get it in 22nd April.
yeah, she's in the beginning of her journey, but she is with the International Kids DJ Cafe, ran by DJ Neek Nice, who is amazing. She is a fabulous mentor for all the kids, and
Wow.
I mean they're going to be DJing the Broad Street Run.
Where's that? 8 May?
It's April, but I got to double check the dates because I really want to come to the event on the 22nd. So I got to check the dates. I really think it's probably that weekend after, but I'm gonna double check.
I think Boston was usually on Sunday. So
yeah, but they're doing really good things. So we're both blessed. And the one thing I had to realize just during the whole divorce and separation was she had to heal too. Because the things that I thought I was only missing out on, I realized she was as well. So, we're both day by day here. And she still she's with her dad now. She has a great relationship with him.
That's good. That's
yeah, we have a very we co-parent and play nice. That's all I care about. So she sees her dad whenever she wants to. He literally doesn't live that far. So, it's one of those things when you realize I don't think when marriages don't work, I would tell anybody it's not a failure. It's definitely not a failure when you weren't supposed to be with him in the first place. Well, you really look at it, if you weren't equally yoked with that person, that wasn't the person you were supposed to be with in the first place. It's not a failure. If anything, it's a lesson learned. And the best thing I got out of it was my one and only child, my daughter.
Amen. That's a blessing to itself. That's a blessing. Wow. Does anyone else want to share a question for Erica before we move to the next author? All right. So we're gonna go to the next author. All right, so our next offer is going to be, wow, that was a great way to start August Cafe 38. That's very powerful. That hold people that are watching today will be inspired to support Erica and things like that. I'm going to definitely put it on the page as well in the comment section. Support, Erica. It also offers your links so people can support you even before April 22nd so they can meet you in person, and sign the book. So our next offer that was based on the order that we had, is Miss Desha Henfield. Desha is a military veteran, poet, two-time international best-selling co-author, speaker, and mental health advocate. She is a purposeful-driven encourager who inspires and empowers people to find their voice and believe in their possibilities. Desha believes in you are your testimony and uses life experiences to speak to areas and others which remain unhealed from traumas of the past. As a speaker, Desha uses positive self-talk, affirmations, and the power of I am statements to prepare her audience to press into purpose and become their best selves. She firmly believes whole words possess power and that we speak our situation into existence. Desha is currently working on her next project, which we don't know what that project is. That's okay. Okay, but our next author is Miss Desha Henfield.
All right, so it is me. So, hello everyone. Again, my name is Desha, and we have worked together on a couple of things now.
Yeah, I know. I say your name wrong. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
But it's all right. It's okay. Again, my name is Desha Henfield, and Levon just ran through basically everything that I am on paper. But what I want to talk about here are the books that I have been a part of. I am an international best-selling author of 2 anthologies. And the visionary author name is Tamika Hall, and she has truly just been a blessing to all of us who have been part of her anthology books. So the first book I'm gonna show the books. This one is called The Purpose in My Pain, and the other book and most recent book is called God Blocked It. And there are so many things in our lives that we can mention and talk about that God has blocked. My very first book that I published on my own is a poetry book, and it's called Inner Sanctum Life, Love, and Poetry. Because from the start, I've been a poet. God has blessed me to be able to use words to speak to people's, their hurt, their love for others, their love for Him. And so I have been able to do that in a poetic form that people have been able to embrace when they hear it. I'm not a spoken word artist. I am a poet. I'm a write it down on some paper poet. But all in all, I am an author, and I'm an author because that's who God made me. He has downloaded into my spirit many, many titles that I have not moved on yet, but I intend to move on because this is what He wants me to do. If He didn't want me to do it, He wouldn't give me the titles. So if He gives me the titles, He's going to give me the words to write, to touch His people. And so I want to speak on the 2 books, The Purpose in My Pain. In that book, I wrote about forgiveness. I am an MST survivor. If you don't know what that means, it's military sexual trauma. I'm a survivor, and I'm not just a survivor, I'm a thriver. I have been able to, through therapy and through prayer and talking with God, to forgive those who have hurt me. I will never probably ever see them again. And that doesn't mean that sometimes I'm not triggered, but in that I forgive them, because if I didn't forgive them, I wouldn't be able to fully move on. I would be stuck in that place. And so in The Purpose in My Pain, I speak about forgiving the people who hurt me. In that instance, I talk about forgiving my mother, because we look at our parents or we look at other parents and we see the loving and the I love yous and the hugs and the this and that. And we have an expectation of that's how our lives were supposed to be. I know my mother loved me, but sometimes I couldn't really tell that she loved me. And she didn't show love the traditional way. And she wasn't the mother that you saw on TV, the Claire Huxtables, or not even the Florida Evans, to be honest. But she is who she is, and she can't give me love in certain ways because she hasn't forgiven herself for things, and she has not forgiven others. And so I understand that now, and I understand her better, and I forgive her, even if she will never acknowledge the things that have happened in our lives with one another. It's okay. I forgive her, and I love her past all of that. And then I talked about in The Purpose in My Pain, I talked about forgiving my ex-husband. And I forgive him too. And I may never have that conversation with him, but I forgive him for not being able to be the person he presented to me. And that's all right, because you know what? God has blessed me, and God has continued to purpose my life, and God has a plan for me. It took me several years to just let go. It took me laying on the floor in a hotel room crying out to God to truly heal the pain that I felt from my divorce and from everything that happened in that marriage. But it's okay. You know what I mean? Because I'm here and I have a relationship. And then, and that's the purpose in my pain and what I talk about in there. Again, that's forgiveness. And so, and God blocked it. And God blocked it. I then talk about generational curses. And I am a generational curse breaker. I am the first in my my grandmother's line to go to college and graduate. My daughter has graduated from college, you know, and I hope prayerfully my grandchildren will graduate from college, you know. So I believe that I broke that generational curse. My first child, although I had him at 19, I was out of high school. And then I went into the military. So I broke the curse of being a teenage parent, which was in my family. The women in my family had children at 15, 16, 17 years old. You know what I mean? And so, and they were still in school or maybe not have finished school. But you know what? I finished school. I had my child at 19, but I was 1 month away from not being there either. So I was able to do that too. So, and so there was going to college. My sister's son now went to college. So I believe that God uses us in various ways. And the fact that I have broken many of the curses, the I love yous, I tell my children that all the time. We didn't see that all the time. So, and they have begun to do that as well as they moved on. It's so very important that when you grow up rather in dysfunction, I have a book that might be titled The D in Dysfunction coming out eventually. But when you grow up in dysfunction, you don't have to be dysfunction. You can be dysfunction, or you can be the exact opposite of what you see. It's a choice. It all starts in your mind. It means you have to change your mindset. You don't have to be what you see. Because your parent was an abuser, you don't have to be an abuser. Sometimes, and a lot of times, you are what you see, but you can decide, I want to do something different. I want to be something different. I want something different for my children. And therefore, you change the trajectory of your whole family just by a decision. And so, again, I didn't intend to be in front of everyone long. I wanted to mention the books that I'm a part of, but I also just wanted to encourage you. I wouldn't be myself if I didn't send out some encouragement to anyone who is a budding author, someone who has a book inside of them and have not pushed it out yet. I say just begin to write. If all you have is an hour in a day that you can sit down, if all you have is 10 minutes in a day that you can sit down, just begin to write. Put it down. Every day, put something down. And eventually that one page will turn into one chapter, and that one chapter will turn into a book. And so you just got to start. You just got to start. And when you have the thought that I can't, I don't know how, understand that you have the power to. It all starts with the thought. Change your mindset. Change your mindset. And if you can't say, Levon, if he talked about me, he talked about the power of I am. And so my next project that I didn't say was that it was going to be, it's going to be a book, and it is tentatively titled I Affirm. And it will, in that book, there's going to be a devotional part to that book, but there's going to basically be I am statements. And then with the I am statements, I'll point you towards a Bible verse that speaks to that, and then give you some reflection. So I'm excited about that. That's like a passion project to me. I am so excited about that. So God has just given me a whole lot of things to move on. And so it is I'm going to be intentional about it. I'll also share that I'm someone who suffers from depression. And praise God, I believe that God has taken me out of that dark place, fully took me out that dark place. You know, sometimes you might teeter a little bit, but I have never gone fully back in to the darkness. And that's what I call it, the darkness. And so it starts with a thought and about being intentional. And so in this season, I intend to be intentional about finishing what I start. And so that means I'm going to finish that book. And that means I'm going to get it out there. And that's why I said, well, you know, I won't do April. I might come and support you guys, but I wasn't going to come and bring my stuff there on April, because I'm going to be intentional about getting that book done. And in July, when the Authors Cafe, Hello? The Office Cafe in July?
Yeah, that's one in July. That's be August Cafe 40. So that's a big number.
Okay. Office Cafe 40. Look for my table and look for that book, because I want to be fully intentional about getting it done. So at that time, it'll be out there. So I hope that I have said something that spurs someone to begin the process or to finish the process. Or if they want to talk, you're more than welcome to reach out at any time. If I can be of any kind of help to help you push yourself towards that finish line that you might see and don't know how to get to. So I thank y'all for the platform. I thank you for your time. My these books are on Amazon, but because I am just one of the co-authors, if you want to purchase them from me directly, you could do so from my website, and I will type my website into this chat here. My name is Desha Henfield. I also go by Noiresista, which is normally what I use when I write my poetry. I will also put all of my social media tags inside of the chat if you want to connect, and so we can keep up with one another. So again, with that, I will say thank you, Levon, for the platform, and thank everyone for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love the Luke project. I am firm. I love that, because funny, because my kids, for Pat the Greatest, we do a workshop called affirmations. So we did a couple weeks ago. So I have a question. I'm gonna put you on the spot. You say you do poetry. Can you share a poem with us?
See, don't do well. You ain't put me on the spot, because I'm gonna pull my book over here. I'm gonna open this book right here and give you a poem out of this book. And let me make sure that okay. So this poem, a lot of times people ask me to share. I share this one because it's called Daddy's Little Girl, and I share it because a coworker of mine, when I first published this book, I was in her office and she purchased the book from me, and she began to flip through the book. And so I'm talking to her, and as she's flipping through the book, she begins to read. And so I don't know what she's reading, but she begins to cry. Now I don't know if this would make you cry, but again, that's because it depends on what's going on with you, how personal it is. But because of the subject matter, this made her think about her child's relationship with her father, with the child's father. And so I'm going to share that poem. It's funny, when I opened the book and I first started through the pages, this one just like kind of like, hey, here I am. So it's called Daddy's Little Girl. I forgive all the dances you missed. I forgive all the goodnight kisses I didn't get. I forgive all the talks I needed to have. I forgive the I love yous you never said. I forgive the phone calls I never received, all the birthday cards I never did see. I forgive your shoulder for not being there when I cried. I forgive you for not being here to tell me I was beautiful when I couldn't see my beauty through my own eyes. Today, I forgive it all, still hoping that one day I will hear you call me Daddy's Little Girl.
Wonderful, wonderful. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Any other ladies have any questions or comments for Desha? Go ahead, Erica. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say I loved every minute of it. I kind of think like our generation, I'm really starting to believe like we're tasked with putting forth a concerted effort to intentionally break generational curses, do the opposite of how we were raised, where you and I, like your story is very parallel to mine with me and my mother, with the not giving affection. Once my daughter came out, that's all I did. So now she's empathetic and she needs to hug and kiss and do all of those things, often. And, I love what you're doing, because it's going to generate those therapeutic conversations that we as a people need to have with each other, our children, even family members. The one thing I can say about like our parents and grandparents, things happen. They don't talk about them, sweep them under the rug. And then there's these secrets and strife and beef and tension that goes on for years. And then when you find out the reason why, you say that was it. I know that's been my experience. Like, that's it. All you had to do was just say it. I get it, sis. So yes, I love it. I want to support you. Just if you can just type in where I can get your book.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll type everything in here. In my website, I'll type that first because that's where you can really go to just get everything. Okay. Thank you.
And like I said, as y'all tell me information, I will definitely put it in on the page on your page and share. Then also as a video, also for the live feed on Author's Cafe page as well. So I'll definitely put all your links on there. Make sure they support it. Also put your bios as well. You know, and there's some changes to the flyers as well. So we definitely gonna do that. Like I said, it's been very powerful so far. I'm moved about your stories and the words y'all ladies have spoken. You know, and like I said, things happen for a reason. And I hope that, you know, and God is definitely in this, is blessing us and make this connections better. It's gonna be a great big thing for April 22nd. Very, very excited about that. So our last offer that's here today, virtually, is Miss Debra Cox. Debra is an avid writer and published author, fell in love with writing as a teenager. From high school teachers to college professors, Debra was constantly encouraged to pursue her gift and passion for writing. Whether writing for pure enjoyment or creating newsletters for organizations, Debra is sure to incorporate an uplifting faith based word of encouragement. Debra received a Master's of Theological Studies from Palmer Theological Seminary in 2016. She is the creator of Lucidity2015.com, a blog that captures the journeys, joys, and times of being a caregiver, and trivialized.com, a blog whose purpose is to share faith-based encouragement with the world. Debra is the mother of Stephan, who motivated her to cultivate her realize her dream and becoming a published author. Follow Debra's blogs at Lucidity2015.com, that is spelled LUCIDITY 2015.com, and Striftrealize.com, which is spelled TSTRENGTHENIZE.com. So let's welcome our last offer, Miss Debra Cox.
Thank you so much for having me. And I would like to know if I can share the screen. Looks like I can't right now. Hold on. Because after all this, okay. All right, can you see me? I can't hear you, Levon. You're on mute.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so there you go. Now I'm gonna share. Make you share your screen on 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, you should access now.
All right, thank you. So here's a quick video. And hopefully you can see someone that you can see the screen that says all things are possible anywhere. You can see that?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, all right. So let's hope that this works. And if not, we'll just keep it moving. Okay. There we go. Okay, now it's not moving, so here we go. So I'm going to turn this off because it's not working. And I'm going to stop sharing. All right. So this is what I was trying to talk about. So all things are possible anywhere. So have you thought of a dream that you wanted to do, but something's going on with your mind? May it be full of cities and states and towns where you store the idea. And God would have it so that the idea keeps popping up in your head. But what you do is you put it in a place called vault. You know, a lot of vaults are in banks. It's where people store their important documents, their stocks, their bonds, or even money, whatever they feel is important to them. Sometimes mentally, we do that with our mind, with our ideas. We put it in a place called a vault. And at times, we take it out and look at it. And we say, wow, that would really be a good idea to do. But then somebody creeps in, known as the enemy, and says, you can't do that. You don't have what it takes to do that. Why would you even think of doing such a thing? And slowly, the idea goes back under lock and key in a vault, sometimes for years. I know it was with me. I've been writing since I was real young, and it took this long for me to become a published author of not one, but 2 books. And so I just want to encourage everyone who kind of has already touched on it. When you have an idea, take it out of the vault and move it through. Move it through various towns of when you're stuck, or when you're like Moses and keep coming up with reasons why you can't do stuff. But eventually God will have his way, and you will do what he has purposed for you to do. So eventually the dream moves through all the mental cities and towns, and the idea, I should say, it makes its way to ATAP. All things are possible anywhere. And when it makes it there, it becomes reality. It's no longer a thought. It's something that actually happened. And for me, it was being a published author. And so I just want to say, what are your goals? What have you thought about doing? Has God been continuously pricking your mind to do it, but you just miss any chance of it being birthed into reality? So take a journey by reading this book through mental towns and cities and see how it resonates with you. This book will challenge you to not only visit ATAP, AW, but to forever reside there. So if you read the book, you can begin the journey. So that's the first one. And I am going to see, I'm going to try it again, Levon. I'm going to share the screen. And I'm going to see if this one will work. And so that's the second book. I'll stop sharing in a moment. So this is the second book, the latest book. And it's just a devotional of just different topics. It's a bunch of things. Some I've written a bunch of like a series and brought it in. Hope series is one. Talking about the Sermon on the Mount, that's another one. And so it's just different things that hopefully will be an encouragement to you as you read the words, and it can be a challenge for you to continue to be strengthened. Also, and I put it in the area where everybody's putting their things. I will write down, yes, I will post a link for the book. Again, if you look me up, make sure you put Debra, not Deborah, because everybody thinks I'm her, the singer, and it doesn't help the fact that I do sing as well. But if you look me up on Amazon, you'll find both books. And also, I'm also a caregiver for my mother, who is in advanced stages of dementia. And so she's in a nursing home, try to take care of her and her affairs. So I started writing a blog, and that's where Lucidity 2015 comes in. It's about a journey of being a caregiver for a loved one. And if you know someone who's going through that, or it may be you, then be encouraged by those things that I've written about. The other is strengthenize.com, and that's actually how this book came to be, because a lot of the writings in there was just copies of what I've written over the years. So as far as being a caregiver, I'm in year 8 of caring for my mom. And so far, lately, it hasn't been all that great. But I know that God is still with me, still giving me the strength to continue. And by listening to you all, I know He's doing the same for you. So with that, I'll stop. And are there any questions from anyone? I think LaVon's trying to undo his microphone and speak.
Yes. Like, first of all, I want to say thank you for sharing. Thank you for being part of this, and thank you for having blogs where people can express themselves, can write their feelings and things like that. So, how long was that? Anything is possible. How long did it take you to write that book?
It took a year. And so I was kind of on a roll. I finished the one book, and then the following year, I did the second book. So I am in the midst of writing my first novel, and writing some other things as well. So I got like 3 things going on at once that I'm trying to get done. So what was really great about it was that I retired from work in 2020. And little did I know that a month later, there was going to be the pandemic. I had no idea. And so that's what helped me to stay hunkered down and finish the book. And then after I got that off the ground, then I did the second one, which was a little easier. Just had to add some things to it, and because a lot of it was already written.
Wow, thank you for that. Wow, thank you. Does anyone else have a question or comment for Debra?
I will put stuff in the chat in a few moments. Thank you
go
so
ahead,
much
Desha.
for your time.
Go ahead, Desha. Go ahead.
Hi, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to thank you for being here today and for sharing with us about your books. I'm already on Amazon.
Thank you.
I'm a supporter. Do you sell your book outside of Amazon? I just sent that message to the other author. The thing is, Amazon takes a big chunk of your money when you buy from Amazon. So if you're selling from a direct site, I would like to go to your site and purchase the book. If not, it's fine. I'll do Amazon because I was going to do Amazon at first, and then I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, let me see if they, are selling it personally. And I'll do whichever one you prefer. I'm going to buy the devotional strength. I'm going to buy that one.
Thank
So
you.
I just
I've
need to know
given
that.
you, I really appreciate that. I'm trying to do two things at once, but I will give you another area that you can buy the book, but if I'm not mistaken, it still takes you back to Amazon. Okay, so
No problem. Well, if I don't know if you guys know about creating jot forms or utilizing jot forms on your sites and stuff like that. That's what I use for my books. Well, for the devotionals that I'm part of, because the visionary author allows us to sell the books ourselves. Except for Amazon sales, if you buy it from the devotionals from Amazon, all the money goes to her. But so she allows us to sell the books on our own sites. So I sell my books on my site. So if you go to my website and buy these devotionals, it's going to come to me. I'm going to mail you out the book, or if you're local and would rather me bring it to you, I'll bring you the book. My poetry book is going to Amazon because I didn't make a jot form for it, but that's okay because it's my Amazon. So,
okay. Understood.
So yeah.
Thanks for the information, and thank you
Yeah.
for your encouragement, because you're saying that you're already on the site. So I appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks for your comments.
Anyone else have a comment or question for Debra?
Okay. All right, I got everything on in the chat, so everything should be there.
Yes, everything's there on the chat. We see it, we have it. So I put it for everyone. You send it to me directly, and I just copied it, put it on for everyone to see.
Okay.
So I want to say this before we close. Again, I want to thank y'all personally for shifting your time, pivoting to doing this virtually. It's kind of more intimate. You could, more intimate. You can share and be more open, with his intimate setting. Like I said, I'm speaking this the April 22nd. We're going to have this in person with other offers as well. And actually, it's funny. One of the authors reached out to me during this event. There's a new author. He wrote a book for black teens. So I saw his work. I was like, oh, maybe reach out to him. So we both talk tonight. So we'll see what happens with that. But like I said, thank you for your flexibility, understanding. I sincerely appreciate it. This has been a wonderful event for what it meant to be. Hope that all you got something out of this and blessed immensely on the spiritual side and the mental side. And now we got to support one another. And like I said, I will post it on my Facebook page, Always Carry page, with all your links, your information, so we can start putting it out there. And I do have confirmations for the offers who were supposed to be there today in person, but will be there on the April 22nd. So we got comments all about nine in total that was from today has confirmed that will be in April. So, like I said, you don't have to pay for anything at all. I'll make sure y'all show, make sure you come, you know, and have a great time, because it's gonna be a powerful event. It's gonna be like this, it's gonna be powerful with more people. You know, so my sister Adrian will be here. She's been doing the Restoration for Artists Cafe for almost a year now. Done a wonderful job. She's part of the team. She does trauma. She's a trauma resilience coach. So she does help people deal with their trauma. She's been an anchor. We appreciate her. You know, staying in the gap and making this awesome event. Go ahead, Desha.
Hi, I just wanted to share this real quick. Can you see my phone? Debra, I have your book already.
I'll do it one more time.
So it should be on the way.
Oh,
That was the thank you from Amazon for Debra. I was showing her I got her book. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Thank you so much.
And Erica, I'll talk to you offline. I told you I'll talk to you offline. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys. Go ahead, Levon. I'm sorry.
In person, you can sign it. In person, you can sign it in person. April 22nd, you can sign it. You know, so that'll be.
Yes.
Yeah, you can have it signed. You know what I mean, that day. So in person, so they'll be each other. So this is like I said, this is in light of the circumstances, it's been a great time, really great conversation, great sharing our stories, sharing what we've been through, with a while for our books, learn from each other, growing from one another. It's so important that we continue to move, continue to thrive, and when we get curveballs, we try to keep going and not give up and not give in, not strike out. Let's keep going and just keep fighting. That's what it's about. And because it's it's a journey. It's a work putting things together. You gotta be flexible and communicate and all stuff like that. So it's a blessing. It's truly a blessing. Yes. But like I said, April 27th is gonna be an awesome event. It's gonna be awesome. As we count down August Cafe 40 July, but August Cafe 39 is gonna be a powerful event. I believe it's speakers is already. I'm expecting a full house of people, supporters, you know, have a great time at August Cafe 4022. Hope everything works out. Praying. I'm asking y'all to continue to pray for each other, pray for me as well. Like Erica said, I did a lot today, early this morning, about what I experienced the past month. So in terms of professionally and personally, but God has blessed me immensely. Blessed me, has kept me throughout this time period, because 2 weeks ago I can barely eat anything. I could eat something, but anytime I swallowed it, it hurt my mouth. My throat would hurt literally. I'm thankful and grateful for all you. Like I said earlier before, Dana said something. Adrian, thank you so much for being part of this as well. I know you was commenting. I know you was, adding your comments and things like that. So, like I said, we have awesome people here that are doing the work of the Lord and also trying to help promote literacy amongst our people and amongst our young people. So help them because we are trying to really, really cultivate a library of resources, of links where adults can get your books, that will stand test of time. They go online and they can read at home, and we have events, they come in person to see you. Can you sign my book? That's so powerful and so needed today, because a lot of our kids don't read the books they read in school because it doesn't relate to them. It doesn't relate to their culture, what they're going through, what they're dealing with on a regular basis. Whereas home, school, church, community, where that is, they know it doesn't relate. So I'm so grateful and humbled that August Cafe is here, help our young people create their own stories and help people share your story and also meet new people that you probably don't want to meet every single day, but be in an environment that's safe, that's loving, that's welcoming, and very nurturing. So I will continue to do this. I will continue to do this because it's so important and it's so valuable to our community and so needed our community. So, like I said, thank y'all so much. I really sincerely appreciate you being flexible today. Hopefully this will not happen on April 22nd, but I'm speaking in existence. There will be live in person April 22nd. I'm already looking forward to it. And then from there, will be Scary 40 in July. So I'm so excited about that. So celebration of excellence. If you want to come as a guest that July, that'd be great. Just to celebrate the offer, celebrate what journeys Always Cafe has undertaken in the past 7 years. So it's not been easy. It's not been for a faint heart, but when God puts something in you, you have to keep going and do it. We had to make so many adjustments, being virtual, being in person, changing venues, and dealing with people. But I thank God that people are very flexible, very understanding, very appreciative of what the work you're doing that provides value to them and just cultivate a more beloved community. And before I close, does anyone have any final words?
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you for your platform. And if God has given you the vision, he will give you provision. And so just trust in him and continue to be faithful. He will provide, and he will provide unto overflow. God's time is not our time. So although there are trips and turns and things don't seem to be working out, understand that experiences build character and they also strengthen our faith. So know that this right here is just getting you ready for your next level. It is just preparing you. It's giving you preparation. And so that's all I wanted to say. So God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again for the invitation. And I'm excited because I definitely want to meet new people, network with other authors. With me being new to this, I'm excited to be back outside, to be honest. But thank you for the invitation, and I'm excited for April 22nd, and just trying to be a support ongoing as much as I possibly can. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, for your wisdom and appreciate that. Like I said, continue to pray for me, pray for Authors Cafe, pray for each other. We never know what people are dealing with on a daily basis, but prayer is so important, so necessary, because prayer is that powerful thing that will get us closer to God, that will break change and unless we do the work. Ladies, thank you so much. Adrian, thank you so much for being flexible as well. We really appreciate. Thank you, Adrian. Said awesome event. Thank you so much, Adrian. Appreciate you. We pray for you as well. I know you're teaching. I know those kids are a lot, but we are still praying for you on a regular basis. Oh, okay. I'll tell you on. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's one of those things, those technology stuff, the camera. But like I said, thank you so much, ladies. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Be safe and be blessed.
You too. Have a good day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.